Man, this comic book sucks! And the reviews online said it was good! I wasted my money! Why didn't somebody tell me?
Hey everybody, we're back with our second review today, and our second review is Saga, the 41st issue. It's a cult favorite. It might be, one of the biggest independent comics out there. I think you're probably second to like Walking Dead, Image Comics.
Second to Walking Dead? That's a lot. That's saying a lot.
I think it is, but I mean everyone talks about it. It's not something that it comes highly recommended. And I say this, sorry to say, I really had a hard time understanding this book. And I'm trying to give you to respectful to all the fans. It looks like it's interesting. I just feel it wasn't inclusive. But I guess if you read it, because the dialogue, I guess it's sort of like Alien sort of dialogue, it was hard for me to follow. I'm sorry to say. But it has a strong following. I'm not sure how to review this book.
Well, normally we try to get books that, like when they first jump off or not too far in, like we try to do number ones for obvious reasons. It's easier for us and it's easier for readers, and you don't have to deal with a lot of backstory. But this is one of those. I think there's another book that's out which names escape me, but this is one of these ones that's an independent, and you hear some buzz about it. We didn't get to see it at number one.
Yeah.
We're not going back in time, so we get 41, and I can't disagree with you very much here. And I mean, I know I mentioned this before. When I read a comic book, I want to read a comic book. I think there's certain pillars that are supposed to take place in a comic book because of the panels, the art, the dialogue. There's certain things that need to happen in order for it to truly feel like it's a comic for me. This doesn't feel like a comic book so much as it feels like a short story or a fiction writer who couldn't get this story sold in prose, and so now we're going to do it here. And even then, it would be like I opened a book and it's a 400-page novel and I started reading on page 152. Mm-hmm. Comics are supposed to be that you can get into them in issue 41. They're supposed to be that, okay, you don't really, there's certain things that you need to have read maybe the last 40 issues for, okay, in terms of, some minutia and some nuance. But you should be able to get the basic gist of everything that's going on from issue to issue. That's just how it works in a serial. You got to be able to bring people in. This feels like literally a chapter out of an infinitely long story because I don't know how long it's going to be, and I can't really get onto it. I'm looking at the characters, and you give it a fair go. You give it a once over, twice over. But the biggest criticism I'll have is that if you want, you already have your following, and I understand that people may go back to read. But in terms of reviewing, I couldn't recommend this because I just don't know where to tell you, hey, what exactly is going on, what the principal characters' motivations are. Plot-wise, forget about that. It's just not going to happen. But hey, that's one of the drawbacks of getting a book in the middle of things. But it's also something that you have to be able to do with the comic book. You've got to be able to pull people in the middle of things. Be it issue 1 or issue 41. That's one of the things that needs to happen.
Well, one of the other things, us both being longtime comic readers, I would go say by X-Men 132, right? I had everything before that. And I really didn't necessarily I could find out who the characters were. They could introduce characters to me. I could read from a book and understand, I know who all these characters are. I can understand the whole book, and I had to go back and find more. And that's what I think, and this is, obviously the book is working. It doesn't need my criticism say what would work. But I say, if you just put captions over here and say, this person did this, this person is coming back from the war. This person did all that. Include me to what the history they're trying to, because everyone is talking with a banter and characterization like they knew each other, and it's very much a shorthand, but it's not something that a new reader could come on to. So maybe if you just do a panel, I know everyone's growing out of captions, but it's a book that's like the pages are wide. You can put some nice...
Or do what Marvel used to do, when you would open up in that first interior page.
Story so far.
The story so far. Yeah. Just try to bring you along.
Yeah.
I don't know why that type of stuff fell out. You would have the captions as an issue this, and I would go back. But you make a good point, because as a long-time comic book reader, almost no long-time reader says, "Oh, what was the first, comic you ever read? Oh, it was number 1 of this issue."
Exactly.
Because
yeah.
most of the time you couldn't get your hands on the number 1. So, your first issue would have been Daredevil 173 or Captain America 219. So
Yes.
those are the ways we were, so it's not like it's something that's unheard of
Yeah.
where you can start reading in the middle of things. I think it's harder now because, again, I think a lot of times the writers are just writing the stories. They're not thinking, well, hey, I would, let me try to keep this open. Or, oh, don't worry, I'll finish up this part right over here. And then there'll be a jumping on
Yeah.
point if I ever decide to come back and try to jump on.
Yeah.
It just really looks like the train left the the train left the depot, and hey, I'm not going to ever be able to catch up to it. I don't think you should ever feel like that as a reader. You should always feel like, hey, I can get into this.
Yeah.
The only other, it reminds me of, what's this, Invincible. There is no hope with catching up with that at all. If you didn't
Yeah.
get there from the ground up, it's just no hope.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the books like that change so much. Like you start off and it's something simple, and then it's like the premise is totally different, especially like Invincible. And this could be basically the same thing, but it's like, I don't know, in my childhood, we used to go to, like, say, to date myself, we go to the Golden Child, mid-movie, and not be like, I don't know what happened. It's it's like, I know what, and that's not even one of the best Eddie Murphy movies. I can follow it mid-movie. My aunt would always take us to movies mid-movie, and then we watch it again from the beginning. But we wouldn't be like, I don't know why he's doing that. We'd be like, oh, I just saw the movie. Oh, we're gonna stay in. Oh, great.
That's a different. It's a totally different. It's a totally different structure of writing. It's
Yeah.
a totally different structure of writing and a totally different discipline when it comes to writing. And hey, for better or for worse, it is what it is right now. That's pretty much it. So, if I got to give it a Mark 3,
Wow, you
that's
giving
as
it
fair
3?
as that can be. I can't give
Oh
higher than
yeah,
3.
well, it can't be too harsh because I mean it's easy to follow as far as the panels going page to page. Here's a character, it doesn't flip. My eye didn't go away, so I would just say, I would adhere to you guys who follow the book, and if you like it, then maybe there's something there. But it's hard for anyone coming in to get into it. For me, at least for me. Sorry. Thank you guys, and we had a comment. Please say something. Inform us the issues we're supposed to read, and
give us a like,
and then we'll try. We'll see.
Give us
maybe
your
we'll come back.
subscription. Give us your subscription, and we'll know what to give back to you.
Yes. All right. Thank you, everyone.
See you next time. Thanks, Spinnerack. You saved me money.